John Carter, and this is Rationale in Action. I have a little bit of some basic common sense to be drilled into some folks' heads. EBC is complaining about Trump closing or potentially closing the border to Mexico to build the wall. I don't see any other way of building the wall besides closing the border. How would you go about that? You're creating a wall to isolate the two nations, one from the other. All right? And they're having record number of illegal immigration. This is a problem. Most of my friends are either illegal immigrants or children of illegal immigrants. It's extremely common here in Southern Orange County, all right? Nobody's saying it's not. But a lot of these people, the ones that have been here for 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 years, they're feeling the effects of the continual surge of people coming here. It's not good for anyone. The state is suffering, the country is suffering. There needs to be something done about it. And it pisses off people that come here legally. You know, Trump's tweet read at this. The Democrats have given us the weakest immigration laws anywhere in the world. Mexico has the strongest. I don't think Mexico has the strongest. Again, it's Trump. Sure. And they make more than $100 billion a year off the U.S. Therefore, Congress must change our weak immigration laws now. Our immigration laws are actually fairly strong. They're just not enforced. And Trump is enforcing them, and everyone's crying like little babies. You know, they've been on the books for a long time. Well before Trump got there, he just kind of brushed off the dust and says, let's do this. Someone else put this in action. Let's actually keep it going. And that's the main thing. This is something that everyone really does need. You may not want it because it's something, oh, I need to be nice to these people. You're not being unkind to someone by telling them to fix their own place first. There's nothing wrong with that. If everywhere in the world was as good as America, they would want to stay in their country. But the reason America does so well is because we have all these positive characters here influencing the states, the country. In order for that to be, I guess, improved in any way, shape, or form from other countries, you wanted them to keep the good people. Whereas most of the determined people, they come to America. You know, if you're determined enough to walk 2,000 miles through a barren, wasteland, through the deserts of Mexico and, maybe Venezuela, everywhere else in Southern America to get here, the jungles and so forth, it takes a lot of ambition to do that. There's the goal in mind. And these people are the ones that could potentially help their country. But they want to come to America because they know that there is more opportunity here. You know what happens when you take all the good things out of a potentially not so good area? The area gets far worse. It's something it's a very basic system. If you have 10, maybe let's say 10% of the good people, 10% of the bad people, and 80% of the people just don't care, and let's say 8 of the good people leave, now you only have 2 left, they're completely demoralized and crushed by the bad, and then the 80% now shift towards the bad because there's no more good people to kind of keep the sway of things in balance. This is the problem here. Let alone the cartels, let alone the drug trade, let alone all that other stuff that, the negatives that happen on the border, the rapes, the human trafficking, you name it. There's so many things that it's going to be positive. I don't understand how people can't see this. Well, and some of the things were like, well, a lot of the people committing terrorist acts are not Mexican. We're not saying that. We're saying that it's easy to go to Mexico because Mexico doesn't have a really strict visa program like we do in America. You go to Mexico, you get off the plane, you go through the country, and then you go up the border. It's not a really difficult task. When they're getting record number of people every single day now, and they're probably only catching about maybe 30%. Because they can't cover all the border. It's impossible. If you put every single military member line for line, across the border, you couldn't complete it. You couldn't protect the entire thing. It's huge. People think, you look at it on a map and it looks really small. It's not at all small. It's Texas and beyond, all the way to California. That's a huge landmass. This needs to be protected. It's going to be costly. It's going to cost approximately $20 billion. That's what was estimated. Is it worth it? Yes. Illegal immigration is hurting everyone in this country, except for the people that, the people that don't want to pay someone very much to work. They want to keep their, cheap gardeners and cheap basic laborers, where they don't need to pay for insurance, they don't need to pay for everything else. They give them $500 a week cash, and that's it. He's like, well, that's wonderful. No unions because they don't have a social, they don't have anything else. They're very unprotected. This doesn't help anyone. And everyone says, give them citizenship. You can't do that, because nowhere else could do that. You can't sustain this kind of influx of people. And it bothers me that something like ABC says you can. Right here. U.S. border authorities are predicting the number of undocumented immigrants, illegal immigrants, stopped at the border could reach as high as 1 million by the end of the year. 1 million. We have approximately 11 million illegal immigrants here since, the last amnesty period. That's a massive number. That's the ones that are stopped. These are migrants that have been stopped by the patrol. Potentially twice as many from last year, and 140% increase over Trump's first year in office. These people want in. Why? Because America is doing better. America is doing better every single day, and people want to be here. Why wouldn't they? When jobs are plentiful, everyone's booming, everyone's doing well. The world outside of America is kind of going in a storm. You have Brexit, you have this mass migration everywhere else in the world, and it's been terrible. It's not this utopia that was predicted. It's been abominable. Crime is up, especially violent and sexual crimes are through the roof in a lot of those countries through Europe. And it's not something that you want here. We want to help the people around the world. Sure, we would love to do that. Install democracy, install all these other things. But these people won't have to want it. They don't want it. They want to come here and then take up and destroy a system that's been working fairly well. Nothing is perfect. Even in the Constitution, they say a more perfect union. They know nothing's perfect. We're human beings. We're imperfect creatures. But let's put the wall up. Let's make something happen right for our country. And then let's help the people that are here. Let's help the decent human beings that are here, and then that way they can help the next generation. Their friends, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, uncles, whatever. That way they can include a way for them to get here. All the people that I'm speaking of, they all know English. They all converse. They all know how to drive. They're all seeking a better life here, genuinely. They're not these people that are living on welfare and, abusing the system. Maybe their parents were, but they've understood that this is not what they want. They do not want all these people coming here and destroying a system that they can kind of agree functions pretty well. A lot better than, Mexico. Thank you very much for listening. Please share, subscribe, comment, and I don't know what to say, folks. We have someone in office that genuinely cares about the country, and everyone in the country is telling you that he's an abomination. Look into it. I'm not telling you to like this guy. I don't like this guy. But I can at least see what's going on, and it makes sense. Thank you very much. This is Rationale in Action. I'm John Carter. Take care.